Oh, look at the pretty reflections on the ceiling. That's kind of cool. I know, I've been delayed a little bit in my video making. I blame the new ATV guys. If you watch that video, it's a new toy, and it's state law that when you get a new toy like that, you have to get the new toy smell out of said toy. But in today's video, without further ado, I am playing with lasers because, yeah. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Byte My Bits. I'm playing with lasers. This is the CNC3018 Pro. I actually bought this off of Amazon. I think they like go in and out of stock. I think I spent like a little bit under $500 on it. With the purchase of this machine, I also bought, because I was trying to think of like what I would do with something like this that would actually mean something. So the company I work for, we have a bunch of trucks, a bunch of keys, a bunch of key tags, and they're terrible. Like, it's just plastic and they're all like, you know, worn off, and they keep, you know, writing in like what the truck is, but it always wears off. So I thought to myself, what if I made new key tags with aluminum, anodized aluminum to be precise? I could use the laser tool and then etch in what the truck is. Like, for example, right now I have an 04 3500 dually. That's how we identify the truck when we're talking about trucks. So I am burning a key tag for it. And on the opposite side, I'm thinking I'm either going to burn the company logo just in case the keys are lost, or I'm going to burn the name of the truck again. But I'm not really sure yet. It doesn't matter. The point is when I was shopping for this, I wanted to make a video. I wanted to explore CNCs, both in the actual cutting. As you can see right here, this machine comes with a motor, and then I have a bunch of different attachments that came with it that allows me to actually cut into stuff. So that's kind of cool. I could use that. I haven't even messed with this at all, but I could use that to etch in if I, you know, wanted a deeper cut with the whole key chain thing, or I could come up with some other creative projects. But I haven't even made it that far yet. Pretty much this video is just the exploration of what this CNC laser machine can do. Now, if you guys are wondering about these, this is basically allows you to look at the laser without burning your eyeballs. Because if you catch it, it's kind of like looking at somebody that's welding. It'll put a little dot in your eye that you'll see a little bit, and just don't do it. If you don't have these and you look into that, you can end up damaging your vision. So I've looked at it a couple times by accident, just when I was looking around other stuff, but it's definitely recommended to wear special glasses when dealing with lasers. Now, this machine comes like an IKEA shelf. It takes a little bit of assembly to get up and running, which, to be fair and honest, it was actually kind of fun to go through and build and figure out how to get this thing built. The instructions are fairly clear, but they kind of fall off a little bit, so there was a little bit of referencing I had to do to the Amazon photos of the machine. I also had to get online and look at a couple other photos too, but once you kind of get everything up and running, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but now, after just a few trials, I was able to start, and this is going to take an additional 3 hours and 18 minutes just to finish this key. I was able to start engraving or etching or burning, whatever the technical term is when it comes to lasers, my first key tag. Now, the first thing that I did when I was playing around with this is I just went to the trash and I had like a box. It was just a white box, cardboard box, and I tried to print a dick butt, so that didn't go too well. Basically, there was a lot of, you know, black in it, like the legs were really deep with really thick lines, so the laser ended up burning through the box and going to the bottom. So the second thing I did was, this is just one of the little images that came with the thumb drive that they shipped with it. It's just some random, I don't even know what it is. It's like a bunny in a spacesuit or something like that. But I printed it a very low resolution. Like, you can choose how many lines per millimeter or whatever. You can increase the resolution or lower the resolution. So I decreased the resolution, increased the speed to its maximum speed, and I burnt this as my first official print with the laser printer. So I don't know what that is, but you get the idea. I'll hold it here. But I quickly evolved from this because I needed to find something that I could print on that was more of a base plate and also raise everything up and whatever. So I ended up finding a piece of MDF board. Now the idea with the MDF board for me is because since I'm new to all of this, I had to kind of, get my alignment down. See, when you start the laser initially, you kind of position it on the plate and then you have to set the home point. And then when you set the home point, you set the print. You set the print size, you set offsets. There's a lot of little minor things you have to do to get up and running. But the gist of it is that when I started printing, it just kind of like moved and started going, and I'm like, I'm not 100% sure where that was going to start originally. Basically, I had no idea where the thing was going to start, and having something like this board allowed me to do a test print. The best and prime example is this first print on my second, because this is just a test, just to see if I could take the anodization off of this aluminum keyring. But what I did is I just did a test print at a very low resolution. It was very quick. It took less than 40 seconds to complete, and it kind of allowed me to lay out exactly where on this MDF board it was going to print. And then I didn't even have to tape it down or anything. I just placed a key tag on top of that exact area where I printed, increased the resolution, slowed down the laser itself, and here we are. It's printing, and so far it looks pretty good. So I want to take a second and talk about that resolution and the speed. That is a huge deal, something that when I first initially tried to print on this, I was shining the laser on it and I was like, maybe it's not focused enough, maybe it's not powerful enough. I literally bought the most expensive version of this machine that I found on Amazon, and the expense came from the increased power of the laser. This unit comes in a few different flavors, 2.5, 5,000, 7,000. There might be one in between, but those are the three that I remember seeing. Basically, this is the 7,000 watt laser, the most powerful option that I had available, because I was like, if I want to do something, maybe I want to etch something into aluminum. That was, the first and really only project I came up with. But initially, it just did not work. I bought these anodized aluminum key rings because I know there's a little plate of paint on top of them that I was, assuming that I could take off with the laser. But long and behold, what I found out is that the laser is going full speed. It just wasn't spending enough time, burning in whatever it is I was trying to print. So this, you probably won't be able to see it. I'll try to get a close-up of it, but this was like an Apple logo. It came with the USB. Again, it was just the deepest black image that I could find. I started the test print. It took a long time just to do this little, like the bottom piece of the apple. Now, I didn't actually want to print the entire thing, but it did prove a point that it could strip the anodized painting off the top of this keyring. So to me, it was kind of like, hey, test successful. So now the next thing I want to do is print my first keyring. And now we have the dually, the 04 3500 dually. Now at first I was kind of thinking that I might, have to like double burn it. I don't know why, but I was thinking maybe it would get a deeper, more, noticeable difference in the contrast from the aluminum to the anodized color. But when I'm looking at it, looking at this, looking at that, at its current speed and everything that it's doing, it is taking every single bit of that anodization off of the aluminum. So unless I'm actually going to burn into the aluminum itself, which is a highly reflective surface, it's metal, I really just, as far as I know, don't think this laser has any possible way of actually etching into raw aluminum. But unless I actually had that capability, I don't see any reason to run it twice. Now, burning into wood or cardboard boxes, on the other hand, is extremely easy. Doing little test prints and everything here, it burns right into it. In fact, you kind of have to speed it up and lower the intensity of the laser just a little bit so you're not like, starting a fire. It did not happen. Maybe there's a little bit of smoke. Maybe I had to tap it out, but learning. Also, side note, imagine that. Whenever this is done, like this, when it burned in this little bit of the Apple logo, I immediately picked it up after I stopped the laser and it was slightly hot to the touch. So, I don't know why. It's not like it had a 7,000 watt laser pointed at it for 30 minutes. So let's say you get this device, you go through, you get everything assembled, you get everything set up, and you're ready to go. then what? That was all new to me. Well, I ended up using my laptop just because I wanted to set everything up in this little area here, and I figured I could move this anywhere. And the USB device that came with this device actually has all the software that you need in order to use this machine. Now, according to my research, which I did not explore myself, according to my research, you do have the ability to use other types of software. Sorry, this is like kind of super annoying to use. You do have the option to use other softwares, but this one, since it came with it, pretty much I just used it. It is called Laser GRBL version 3.4.0. It's super easy to use. It's really just a matter of importing the image, which is a PNG image, going through, setting your lines or your resolution, setting the speed of the laser itself, setting the size and the offset. Now there is definitely a little bit more to getting the laser hooked up to the computer and getting the COM port on the serial to get recognized and stuff like that. But I'm not really meaning for this video to be a tutorial. This is more of like, hey, I'm playing with lasers now. Expect, you know, more laser stuff in the future. But as a whole, it wasn't terribly complicated, and I was able to get up and running and burning my first thing, as you can see on that cardboard box, pretty quickly. Now, I plan on testing a few different things. Like, for example, my cup. I just got a new cup, actually, because I broke my top of the last one. But this is plastic. So, you know, I just want to burn to plastic. I don't know. Put my name in it or something. I have no idea. This is really thin, but the point of that test is to see, you know, how fast do I need to make the laser go to not burn all the way through the plastic, or what power setting I have to set the laser at in order to not burn through the plastic. What's the best quality, resolution, you know, just kind of fiddling around. And like I said before, I do use the MDF to kind of position where the burn is going to go, but right now I'm using MDF, but that's just really because that's what I had. I like the way MDF reacts to the laser, but how will it react to a different piece of wood or a different type of wood? Or actual wood instead of, you know, compressed cardboard. Hell, the packing actually came with styrofoam. So I might burn something into this just to see if it'll catch on fire. And then of course, further down the line, I do want to play with something like this, right? Because I can put one of these little bits in here and I can set up a cut pattern and I can do all of that. And I think this would be really cool to play with. For example, on the topic of these keychains, my original idea is that if I wasn't going to do a laser, if I wanted to do this project, I could use one of the bits on the end of this and I could get a solid piece of aluminum that's just a straight piece of aluminum, thin, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 millimeters, or I don't know millimeters, but just like this, right? Just a straight line. I could use my saw upstairs in the garage to cut it into little bits like this. Then I could go through and smooth out the edges, and I would have basically a solid piece of aluminum that I could etch in the label of each vehicle, and that would be way more permanent and would probably even last longer than something like this. The only reason why I didn't go with that, and I looked into lasers, was because of coloring. I don't know how to anodize aluminum. So once I'm done, you know, I'm just gonna have a bunch of aluminum colored key tags. But we don't have that many trucks, and the trucks that we do have, we like to be able to distinguish them by different colored key tags. So for example, grabbing the black key or the red key is just as easy as saying the 04, you know, 3500 dually. But that's going to be something down the line I definitely want to explore. I want to master the lasers as much as I can before I really jump into that. Mainly because that takes a lot of swapping out and using a different software. But, you know, learning. So guys, if you want to check current pricing or more detailed specifications, check out the Amazon affiliate links in the description down below. But for now, I'm just going to get a little bit of B-roll to use during this video using these in front of the camera. That way, you know, it doesn't mess up my camera. And side note, speaking of camera, during the assemble, I actually tried to show the entire assembly process, but my camera died and I didn't realize it. So I looked up and it was turned off. So I think I only got like half the build. I'm sorry. I was gonna speed like time lapse it, but I failed you. Now I do know there probably are a number of my subscribers that are into this sort of thing. So if you have any, you know, ideas or recommendations, tips, learning things that you discovered as you went through this process, please drop those in the comments down below. I am completely new to this and I literally just like did the full on hold my beer, let's do this. You know, I watched one YouTube video to figure out how to set the home point, which was completely blaringly obvious once I figured it out. But other than that, I'm just YOLOing this and just kind of figuring it out as I go along. So if you know anything that you think would be helpful, post them in the comments down below. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching, like, and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.
Another day and we just trying to make a way now. The hatred growing stronger every single day now. I hear these rappers, they ain't trying to talk about it, they ain't trying to get involved, and they would rather catch a wave now. But how cool is the gunplay when the strays will hit the playground, But never mind about that, cause once you make it out, you think this world just don't affect you anymore, until somebody from your past come back to settle the score. Like Tupac on September 7th. Man, in this fight against hate, learn the greatest weapon. So if you're trying to walk with me, said the cycle gonna stop right here. My God gave his life for mine, so I can make this clear. The more and more my name is grown because of music, the more that I see it ain't about the music, but the way that I use it. So go ahead, keep on rapping better, lay your trappers and your drugs. I'll be here just holding down for the people and the love, I was trying to feel the way with you. I was trying to feel the way with you. I was trying to feel the way with you. Oh, yeah, I put my